Deborah, what are your thoughts on the timing of this attack?
Well, it is it's the biggest missile attack on Ukraine in several months, and it comes ahead of a major NATO summit in Washington later this week. Keir Starmer will be heading to Washington to meet with the leaders of all 32 members of the alliance, and obviously the war in Ukraine is going to be a massive focus for them. We're almost two and a half years into the war now. Russia is showing no sign of changing its path in terms of trying to conquer its neighbour. And the President Zelensky, in posts on social media today, has pointed to the attacks by Russia against Ukrainian cities. He said a total of 5 cities were hit, including that children's hospital that you mentioned in Kyiv. He said that people need to look at this and look at what Russia is and what it's doing. And clearly this will underline further requests from Ukraine to its Western partners for more weapons to help counter the invasion, but also to help defend cities from these bombardments. We've also heard today, in terms of the actual impact of the attack, that a number of electricity power stations, substations in Kyiv were also hit. That has been one of the strategies by Russia over the past 2 years, to target critical infrastructure in Ukraine, to bring that country to its knees, not just through the military offensive with soldiers fighting on the ground, but also hurting civilians, not just with these missile attacks, which are terrifying, deadly and destructive, but as well by taking out power, leaving people for long periods of time in the darkness. It's something that's incredibly uncomfortable in the summer when it's hot, and it's really dangerous in the winter when it's cold and they're not able to heat their homes.
And Deborah, what do you make of the scale of this attack? Because as you say, the attacks have been going on, but on much smaller scale. How does this compare what's happened today?
It's a significant attack. You know, there's been these moments throughout the conflict when Russia has launched a heavy bombardment of missiles. The Ukrainian Air Force says among the more than 40 missiles fired at Ukraine today were hypersonic missiles, which can fly more than 10 times the speed of sound. These are incredibly hard to intercept. So Russia, using this kind of weapon, will know that most likely they will be able to hit their targets. And as I said, it's ahead of the NATO summit. There were warnings. I spoke to a couple of experts in the last 2 weeks who said they anticipated ahead of the summit in NATO for Russia to do something, to try to grab the headlines, to try to seize the initiative, to show NATO allies that despite all the support that the West has been given to Ukraine, Russia is still able to inflict huge pain on that country.